This is Sessions with Sara Cate and Ashley, a podcast that explores the feelings, emotions, and experiences of what it means to be human in this world. This podcast is intended for educational purposes only and is not meant to replace therapeutic services of any kind. Please refer to the list of references if you need support.
And before you dive in, please like, subscribe, comment, share with anyone you think might also connect with today's session. Our goal is to reach as many people as possible, and we are endlessly grateful for your continued support. So, let's get to it.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Sessions with Sara Cate and Ashley. I am Sara Cate.
And I'm Ashley.
Today's episode, alarmingly enough, we realized we had, in fact, an experience with this last time Ashley and I did our recording. I had a gut punch of a experience where she ended our call after we got done with the episode, but she just ended the call. She shut me out. She slammed the door in my face. It felt like she was breaking up with me so directly in like one fell swoop with this shutting of the Zoom. And so I'm alluding to, Ashley, my dear, what are we gonna talk about today?
All right, first of all, I just need everybody to know it was an accident. I hung up on Sarah.
You hung up on me.
I didn't push stop. I ended the whole call, and I was so frantic because then it starts to download the episode, so I couldn't just call her back. So I had to FaceTime her.
We were over.
Because I was like, I hung up on Sarah and I couldn't call her anyways.
I mean, talk about my abandonment wounds on just full tilt with that one. I was like, she hung up on me. Obviously, I knew we were fine, but it did not change the feeling that I had in my body for a split second that we, in fact, were through.
Oh, that would be a tragic day.
Heartbreak. Yeah. So talking about heartbreak over friendships.
So we're going to talk about friendship heartbreak, but not necessarily like, sure, there may be some like friendship breakups, right? But we talk about, well, Sara Cate and I on this show have talked a lot about relationship and romantic relationships and parents and all of that, but we haven't talked a lot about friendships. And I think, especially as adults, it can be hard, one, to like create really strong new friendships. And we also go through periods where some of our friendships maybe no longer serve the space we're at. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a big blow up fight, we're through type of ending, but a natural like growing apart, and what that can bring for both parties involved. Like there may be some relief, there may be some guilt. There's often some guilt that comes along with that. There may be some confusion, or like, did I do something wrong? Or like, what is it me? Do I have a problem? Like, is it my fault that I couldn't keep this friendship? Lots of ways we can keep ourselves in that like shame spiral that we've talked about so many times. But yeah, so we're just going to chat about, I'm sure most of us have endured some kind of friendship ending, whether it was, I've had both kinds. I've had like big blow ups. I've gone on a trip with somebody who was, quote, my best friend, and got on a plane at 6 a.m. to come home and never have spoken to that person again. Yeah. So I've had that.
Yep.
And I've also had the friendships that like naturally grow apart,
just dissipate.
Yeah.
Well, and I think why this came up for us in regards to the wanting to do an entire session on this is because I think we have to remember again how this feels in our systems and what loss feels like, what grief feels like. And like, I think what I have some, you know, I think it can be easy to overlook the ruptures in friendship and be like, it shouldn't affect me that much.
Right.
You know, I shouldn't feel so intense about this. Or maybe we feel like I can't really set a boundary because it's just a friend, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not somebody who I am really constantly in relationship to. So you know, I can't really hold that line with them, right? Like I think there's a lot of bargaining we do around what we maybe allow in friendship. And in that dynamic, then like to have such an ending where it's like, here we did spend this time together and then I'm like walking away from you, right? And that having to be what you needed to do, you know, speaks to maybe what had been happening building up to that, right? Like it wasn't probably just that one trip that ruined the relationship. There were probably these ruptures that maybe happened because the boundaries hadn't been set soon enough.
100%. And I think it's such a, you know, Sara Cate and I are both female identifying, and in a female body in this world, in our current society, we still are very much taught to put others before ourselves. Everything that we are essentially told and taught is that our needs are last. And it takes a very strong person to find your way back. I mean, that's what Sara Cate and I talk about all the time, is finding our way back to ourselves so that we are actually putting ourselves first before we can trust anybody else with who we are, right? Like it's all about coming home to yourself. And I think that plays a role in friendships a lot, is we will say, okay, whatever the situation is, I've known this person forever, so it's okay, right? Or this person really helped. I hear this a lot from my clients. This person really helped me with XYZ. And so I need to like keep them around. And like, okay, there's a few things about that. Like, why did they help you? Were they helping you to get something in return? Because that's not help. That's I don't know what that is. That's just mean.
Well, it's manipulative.
Yeah. Or where they were like really offering this like selfless help. And even if somebody did show up for you at a time where you really needed them, that is not a life sentence to have them in your life if it's no longer serving you. Yes. And people naturally grow. And actually, Sara, you said this to me one time, like a long time ago, probably 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know. You said something along the lines of, it's like your paths are running parallel to one another. And when they're no longer parallel to one another, that's okay. They can make a right-hand turn. You could take a left-hand turn, and that's okay. If your paths come back together and they're parallel, they're not right on top of each other. You're still separate, right? But if they're no longer parallel, then okay. They spent their time with you, or you spent your time with them in this life. And that's when they were meant to get off. That's okay.
It is, you know, and I think because like when I was talking about my abandonment issues showing up when Ashley shut me out of her life forever, not to be dramatic, but there is that, I think we hold on to things because of those abandonment wounds more often than not, right? We hold on to that because we've been abandoned. And so we don't want to do that to somebody else. And so like, if somebody's hard to have in our life, but they're hurting, we make a lot of concessions for their behaviors and their actions, and to the detriment of ourselves sometimes. Right. And so I think there can be, some savior complexy stuff that comes up. And I think it's our abandonment wounds that come up, that kind of, if we're not checking in with ourselves, if we're not, again, in that relationship to what we're feeling and noticing, you know, like, okay, I get really tight around that person, or I find myself editing what I say all the time, or I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, or I just don't feel safe with them, whatever it might be, right? If we're not tracking those things, it can be really hard to realize we need to create more distance or more spaciousness in those relationships, or that we let them go, right? We just kind of let them naturally separate. And it can be hard to figure that out and discern that, and even harder if we're not in relationship to ourselves, in relationship to other.
Right. Right. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So Sarah, Sarah Cate.
Here she goes.
I like to put Sara Cate on the spot. Well, she doesn't know this is coming.
I do.
No, but okay, so let's talk about some like a quick little reset, maybe. I don't know what you want to call it. Like a reset or a quick little like exercise that you could do. And it might be one that we've already talked about on this podcast, but like if somebody's really feeling that, like, and maybe let's go from the stand or the viewpoint of somebody is trying to determine if this friendship is like something that is supportive, or if this is a time where it might actually naturally grow apart, right? You're kind of in that moment of like, I'm not really sure, but I'm more curious on if this is serving me. Like, how do we get more sure on that? Like, is it for me or not?
So I think one of the, and again, this is going, we're talking about this in friendship, but we can use this kind of exercise in regards to any relationship, to anything, right? To person, to thing, to activity, whatever it might be. But my first indicator, if I am near something that's for me or not, right? Or if it's going to be useful for me or not, is does it bring me closer to myself? Am I more aware of my emotions? Am I more aware of my sensations? Am I more connected? Do I feel a settling in my stomach? Do I feel a relaxation in my shoulders? Do I feel an opening in my chest? Right? These sensations. And so one way to kind of even practice feeling that, right, is to do an exercise where you actually, in fact, round your chest and you round your shoulders. So for those of you who aren't watching, you're kind of almost taking this like hunched spine and you're rounding your shoulders forward and you're bringing your hands in front of your heart space and you're condensing everything down, almost like I'm bending towards the computer screen right now to kind of hunch over. And then you come out of that and you roll your shoulders back and you open your heart space and you kind of take a straighter spine and you toggle between those two sensory experiences, right? This rounding, this closed off space, and then this open, and notice kind of how you can engage with the world around you. I see Ashley's eyes now. I see her face now, right? Like I can see what's happening for her, but when I am tucked in and constricted, I can't track anything else that's going on around me. Right. And then that kind of sensory experience you apply to the person that you're with. Do you feel yourself going into this protective, which this is a very protective posture, right? Like we would call it like a lot of the times the fetal position, right? Because it's protecting all of the most precious organs you have on your body is to come in and round. And so seeing who do you feel like you can have your shoulders down with? Notice just even your posture when you're around them. What is your body doing? Are you open? Are you sitting towards them? Do you see their face? Do you see their emotions? Can you sense their reactions? Or do you feel yourself kind of rounding, turning, sitting away from, right? Notice those like just natural impulses in your body and what your body is just doing naturally.
Yeah.
Right. This is such a great way to track that. And you can do this anywhere. You can. And then what I love about this is when I watch my body in space, when I'm in my body and with my body, but also watching what it's doing, right? I'm just letting it do what it needs to do. But it's giving me so much information if I'm around somebody, like, because how often have you been out in the world and the hair on the back of your neck stands up, right? Or you just get a vibe from somebody, your body recoils. Your natural impulse is to get away. So trust that. Right. Yeah. And like, yes, sometimes trauma gets in the way where our body reacts or responds to something that might not be there, which is hard, but doing it in intense spaces and with non-intense entities or energies for us is a really great way to practice. Like do this around somebody you love, right? Like I just said, I was like, did this in this session with Ashley, and I could like look into her eyes and see her face, and I could feel that connection because I trust her and I love her. And so it's easy for me to kind of like notice between those two things and notice what I feel with her because she's a safe space for me. So practice it with somebody that, you know, feels really safe for you, or maybe in a place you love, right? Like maybe it's on your favorite hike and you just kind of like look around and take it in and feel really open, right? And then practice kind of like closing yourself off. And what do you miss, right? What are you separate from when you do that? And just kind of play with that toggling in your body in like non-threatening spaces. And then try it when you are assessing, right? Like once you kind of get a feel for that, then try it when you're around somebody who you're like, I wonder if this friendship is still really viable, or like, do we really even have it? Because it doesn't have to be huge ruptures. It can just be like, do we align anymore? Do we have things in common anymore? Right? Because we all change. It doesn't have to be because someone did something hurtful. It can just be because who we are now just doesn't resonate.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I always like to ask myself too, like, what parts of myself am I hiding and why?
Yeah.
Like,
see what
and
you
am
edit.
I okay with that?
Yeah.
Right? Because some relationships, again, we can put this into all relationships, right? There are just some relationships where you're not sharing your deepest, darkest secrets, and that's okay because it's not the purpose of that relationship, right? But if
Right.
this is like a friendship that you want to have closeness in, and you're hiding parts of yourself, what parts are you hiding and why? There might be a good reason. There might be, you know,
Yeah.
and are you then okay with it? I ask myself
Yeah.
that.
Totally. And
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, I think it's so beautiful when that we even do that inquiry. Because what I think our body and our being loves is when we come towards it to ask, what are you feeling? What is, you know, and like when you ask, what are you hiding, right? And why? We're giving it permission to hide those things and to keep some things safe and protected. And our body loves that. Our body loves when it knows that we're regarding its safety.
Yeah.
And we're prioritizing its health
Yeah.
in a way, right?
Yeah.
And so being able to do that is so being able to really know and trust, yes, this relationship is for me, or it's not, or I just need to recategorize it. Even this isn't someone I'm going to share all these things with because that doesn't really hit, but this does, right? So I think it can be a really good practice. But my dear, did you in fact pull a card for
I sure
today?
did. And look at this beautiful creature.
Oh,
The
cougar.
cougar. I know I pulled it and I was like, whoa.
Oh, fiery.
All right. So this is from, huh?
I said, what is the wisdom?
Oh. Okay, this is from the Spirit Animal Wisdom book that we have used many times. Okay, so cougar. Step into your power confidently while balancing assertiveness with patience. Cougar, or puma or mountain lion, is a feminine symbol of power, intuition, and strength. Solid. Oh, you were agreeing. I thought you were about to say something. You can't.
What is happening?
I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I need to eat lunch.
Her body's telling her. Her body's giving her the signs. Okay, keep
okay. So solitary and silent, cougar is a skilled hunter who possesses great patience. She knows how to get what she wants and does so in a way that balances assertiveness with the grace of receiving. While she waits patiently in the background, she asserts her power confidently, striking only when the moment is right. When cougar comes to you, it is a sign that you have to come into your power. Now is the time to take charge of your life, make space for solitude and deep introspection as you prioritize your evolution and self-mastery. Balance your newfound strength with gentleness, letting your intuition and inner wisdom guide you. This will ensure you remain grounded yet confident as you progress forward on your truest path of empowerment.
Love.
So good.
So relative
So
to this.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, that power, that inner power, that inner knowing, and
Mhm.
then direction.
Yeah. All with that grace of, I mean, like she's talking about patience, but like the grace of compassion that we're always talking about too. That like that inner, when it's talking about like moving in towards yourself, the introspection, like that's what we were just talking about, right? Like when you do the exercise Sarah Kate was talking about, what that feeling when you're all crunched forward and the feeling when you open up, being really curious about that part of your body when you're with other people, like, yeah,
It's
that's
so, yeah, so good.
so good.
So,
So
as always, we hope this has been an enlightening and opening conversation about how to trust yourself more in relationship and in friendship, and how to listen to yourself and what you need in these realms and in these different facets of your life. Um, yeah, and share, subscribe, like, and or like send us a message,
yeah.
send us a joke. Maybe we love to hear from you. I would love to. It's so sweet when we get DMs and
Mhm.
comments about stuff, or just like how
Mhm.
something was relevant or helpful. It just helps keep us,
Yeah.
connected, and like to like, okay, this is good. We'll keep doing stuff like that, or
Yes.
just give us
Yeah.
any feedback we love.
Yes. And until next time, take care.
Okay.
Bye.